Hello, in this video I'm going to be showing off all my ceramic pieces that I did throughout my 6-week ceramic course. All these pieces are made out of stoneware except for one that is made out of porcelain, which I will point out when I get to that one. Our first project that we started was the pinch pot cup forms and matching saucers. These two are the ones that I did. I'm pretty happy with the designs. This one is it's just like an open mouth, and then the saucer, the idea behind it was that you can only see the smiley face when the cup is off of it, so it's happy when the cup is off of it. And then this one was just a goofy face, but I didn't realize how dark this color was going to be. Like, you can see the green inside, but I didn't realize the outside was going to be this dark. And then so all these cards, just kind of ignore these because these are just so that I remember what color I used for them. So these two cups, the cup and the saucer, I used clear blue on these ones. And then this cup I used Ritz green, and then the saucer I used Aribe. The glaze application on these ones could have been better. Like, you could still see a bunch of clay, like naked clay here. So I should have maybe sprayed it on or applied a thicker coat of glaze. And then my next stuff, the next project that we did was the tiki mugs. So this was slab built. So we just rolled a slab and then we made it into a circle. And I could have blended this together more, so because, like, you can see it's not really a perfect circle. And then this, you might recognize this. This is my profile picture for my YouTube. And then, so it's a dinosaur and then a bunch of dinosaur footprints. And the glaze didn't turn out as good as I thought it was going to turn out, because this glaze is chun red, and it's pretty temperamental in the firing, and it didn't turn out that great. Because usually you should fire, if you're going to fire this red, you should fire with, like, alongside with a bunch of other reds, not just like other colors. And this was one of, like, the pieces that I kind of rushed to glaze, so I don't really like the color of this one, but it's all right. And then this one is milk and mocha, and I should have picked a different color on these ones. I don't really like them, like this white. And the color is, mocha is clear blue, clear, and then milk is 1, 2, 3, 4 white, and then the brown all around is temaku, and you can see some of it, like the black on the insides, but the rest of it didn't get as black. Like, it was supposed to look like a tree trunk, but it's all right. My wax job was a little bad on this. Like, this heart didn't really turn out that great. And then we started our throwing assignments. And before I show off my throwing pieces, I just want to say that if you're thinking of starting or are learning how to throw on the wheel, just know it will be hard and frustrating at times. Like, I got pretty frustrated at times because I saw other people learning and progressing, like, so much faster. And just, if you get frustrated, just take a break and then just get back at it practicing. And for me, practicing on the wheel, it really showed it results when I just kept practicing over and over, even though, like, the improvements were pretty small at times. And just celebrate those small improvements and enjoy the process of learning. It took me over 3 days to learn how to center. One tip that I would give is to just apply more pressure than you think. For me, I was always applying too little pressure, so I couldn't really center correctly. I was always, like, off by a little. So for me, because I'm right-handed, I use my left, and you want to be pushing with right here, this part of your hand, into the clay, and then the other hand is supposed to be, like, grabbing it like this, and apply the same amount of pressure on both sides, and then you'll be able to cone it and then push down to center it. And then my other project was cylinders. So let me pull those out right now. My first throwing project was cylinders. It took me about 3 to 4 days of practice to finally be able to pull my walls tall. And I was struggling at first with pulling the clay evenly up the wall. So like my bottoms would be thicker than the top part of it. And another thing that I learned was that I wasn't pulling enough clay from the bottom. So I needed to make it more of an indent on the bottom before making the pull. And then one advice that I would give that I learned from a YouTube video is just move from your elbows, not from your wrist, just because this makes it easier for both arms to move at the same speed and is more stable than moving from your wrist like this. For me, at least, that's what it worked for me. And then this shows a perfect example of like the progression of my cylinders. So these are all really short. I don't even know if they're considered cylinders because they're shorter than kind of their diameter. So these are all pretty short. And then as you continue, they get a little bit taller. And then this is the tallest I've thrown. Pretty happy with that one. And then I also struggled with opening too wide. So like my cylinders would be super big and it wouldn't help with getting my height up because it was so tall. And I just kept this one because it's so big. All right, so let's go through the glaze colors. So these are Chun Red, just the same as the Tiki Mugs ones. And same thing, the glaze didn't apply correctly. It's just very temperamental. So the red didn't really stay on. I'm not too bummed about that one. And then this one is Aribe, a little bit more green, but the glaze also didn't stay as much. I think it is a runny glaze, so maybe that's why. But the green inside is good, just not the outside. And then this one is one of my favorites. It's a little bottom heavy. I should have trimmed a lot more right here. But this is an example of my favorite combination of glazes that I did. It's a new Celadon with eggshell white. And then it has this like cool effect. And then Celadon has a tendency of like, I think it's called crackling. It's like these tiny cracks. And I don't know, I'm not going to say for sure, but I was reading that it's not food safe, but I don't know if me putting egg white glaze over it makes it safe. I will have to ask my teacher and I'll update in the description if it actually is safe to drink out of and eat out of. But yeah, it creates this like cool effect. Kind of like snow, if I would describe it. And then this one, I put two glazes on top of each other, the same thing, but I let it run. Kind of like I dripped it along the sides. And it's a new Celadon with Sun Valley dripped on the sides. And this is how it turned out. I'm pretty happy with it. I don't like the color on top. I think I applied it too thick. Like these drops down here were thinner. I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to redo this combination for another piece in the future and maybe get better results. And then this one is Persimmon. I think it's okay. Not my favorite glaze, but it's better than I expected. And then this is Temaku, the same thing as the Milk and Mocha Brown. It's alright. Not my favorite glaze either. And then this is Clear Blue Clear. I didn't realize there's two different clear blue glazes. There's a clear blue clear, and there's just a clear blue. And I accidentally glazed this one, the clear blue clear. It's all right. You can still see some of the glazes. Maybe I should have applied a thicker coat of glaze. But I like this one. I like the bottom. And then this one is Aribe. I don't really like this color as much. I think just the application of it isn't that great. Maybe if I glazed it differently, like either sprayed it or added a thicker coat, it would look nice, but not really happy with this green that much. And then this one is also the same glaze combination that I liked earlier, which is New Celadon with eggshell white. And this is a lot better example of like the crackling. It's a lot more, there's a lot of cracks. And then this effect from the eggshell white right here on the bottom, I really like. And you can see it on the inside too. You can't really see it. Yeah, right there. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this one. I don't know what to do with this. It's pretty big. It's kind of not that great for like just drinking out of. And then after that, we did a slab box project. Here it is. I think it turned out a lot better than I expected. My initial idea was just like a living box with eyes on top, and then the box as like its body. And then as I started putting it on, it kind of just turned into a frog. When I made like the key, it just turned into a frog. I like the design. It's just my application was a little rushed in the glaze. It could have been better. I should have sprayed it on instead of just dipping the box into the glaze, because it didn't really stay. So this is kind of naked clay right here. And then, yeah, there's like a few spots where I accidentally waxed, so no glaze could get on it. So that's a problem, but it's all right. And then I also can't open it right now because I think I accidentally left some glaze on the inside, so now it's stuck. But hopefully I'll get it open in the future. And then our second throwing assignment was bowls. Let me get those right now. And then for the bowls, I also struggled for a few days. I couldn't get the shape correctly, like the shape that goes on the outside. And I also kept leaving the bottoms really heavy. So this first one is a great example of what happened. This is very bottom heavy. You can't really tell in the video, but when you pick this up, it's it's not really usable because of how heavy it is. And the bottom's like, I would say, about an inch thick. That's pretty thick. And I could have trimmed it more, but it was gonna get like way too small. And maybe I should have just not glazed this and not misfired it either and just restarted, because it's pretty thick. So because I couldn't get the shape correctly, I learned that I had to apply more pressure. Like I had to apply a lot of pressure pushing out the walls to form the shape of the bowl. And because I was so scared of applying the pressure, I wasn't really creating that form. And I learned that just apply a lot of pressure, even though you're scared of breaking it. The worst that can happen is you break your form and you just start over and get more practice. So that's what I started realizing. As I kept doing more bowls, they kept getting bigger and a little bit more wider and better shape. They're not super wide, but it's better than this one, which isn't that great of a form. And then so let's go over the colors. So this blue is retail navy blue. I kind of like this blue. I messed up the glaze here too. I accidentally dripped some wax from the bottom to here and to here, so the glaze doesn't really stay on. But it's all right. I might redo this glaze for another piece next time. I kind of like it. We'll see. I kind of like more pastel blue. And then this one, I kind of messed up this one. I think this one and another bowl. The other bowl, I don't know what happened to. I didn't pick it up from class. I don't know if it didn't get fired, but this one and the other bowl I got mixed up, so I accidentally applied the wrong glaze. So this one's new Celadon with clear blue on top of that, and then a Rebay on top of that. So this is how it turned out. I don't know. It's all right. I don't really like it that much. And then this is also bottom heavy. Like I could have trimmed right here a lot more, but it's all right. And then yeah, I don't really like the drip design on this. This one is one of my favorite bowls, just because it's so thin. It's one of like the the thinnest bowls that I've thrown and trimmed. The only thing is it's small, so can't really use it for like meals. Kind of just use it for like ice cream. And this is Alfred blue. I kind of like this blue, but it's a little dark. And then this is my favorite bowl. It also is small, but I like the color on this one. This one is with Alfred blue with eggshell on top, if I'm correct. I did take notes on all my glazes, but I am also missing one bowl. So I don't know if that one, I don't know for sure this is this glaze, but I'm pretty sure. I'm like 90% sure. It is the correct Alfred blue with eggshell on top. So I'm going to try doing this glaze combination for another piece in the future. And if it does turn out the same color, then I'm correct and I'll update it in the description if I'm wrong. But I really like what happened in the middle. I don't know what caused this. And then the outside is different. But yeah, I really like the inside of this one. And then to my bigger bowls, this one is with Alfred blue. And this one's a lot more matte. It's not really that glossy compared to the other one, other piece with Alfred blue. And this one's a little bit better. It's not as bottom heavy. And then this one is with Ritz green. It's also pretty dark. And I should have cleaned up the lines from throwing. But I really like the inside lines, but I don't like the outside. Yeah, this one's a little bit bottom heavy too, like around right here, but it's all right. I like it. And then to the last bowl. The last bowl is with clear blue. This is the clear blue, not the clear blue clear. Sorry if that's confusing. But yeah, this one I like too. It's a little thick on the rims. I would want it just slightly thinner. And yeah, I think it's a little heavy right here on the bottom, like this bottom portion. I could have trimmed a little bit more, but it's all right. I'll improve next semester. All right. Another project that we did was a coil built pot. It was pretty big when I was forming it, but because when you fire, your pieces will always shrink by 10 to like 13%. So it got pretty small. But this is how it is. It's the same combination that I like. It's clear blue poured inside, and then a clear blue sprayed on the outside, and then an eggshell white on top of that. Yeah, I really like it. It wasn't my initial design, because my initial design was a glaze that was running down the side and would leave some naked clay on the bottom. But because I had so much pieces to glaze in such a little time, I had kind of had to just rush to glaze everything, and it was just my safe pick to to glaze this with this glaze combination. All right. Another assignment that we did was a picture, but for our class, because we were so like rushed to do all our other assignments, the picture was extra credit, and I did it just because it is pretty similar to a cylinder. It's the same steps other than just the very end when you're doing the spout. So I just did it and just tried it. I don't remember what glaze I put on it because I didn't write it down because I was so rushed to glaze all my other stuff. So I don't know what I put on this. I don't remember doing this, so I don't know what happened. So I don't know if I just did this all in white, and then because it was so close to another piece in the kiln, that it kind of got that color onto it, or I dipped it sideways and only dipped like this into the glaze. I don't know for sure, but the picture I kind of messed up on because I let this body, the vessel part of it, dry out to almost bone dry, and then I put on the handle afterwards. So it didn't really stick that well, especially right here. Like you can see a visible gap. Right here isn't as bad. There's not much of a gap on the bottom, but on the top, there's a visible gap between the vessel and the handle. And then some extra stuff that I did that weren't part of my assignments, I'll show right now. Other pieces that I decided to make just because I was spending so much time in the studio was I made these Kirby's and did a messy wax job on the eyes and the mouth. So some color is kind of missing, but I might redo this one just because I'm not really happy with the wax part of it. And then I did a bigger version with so the smaller one is with just clear blue, and then the bigger one is with clear blue with eggshell on top. And I was told to put like the blush on this one. I don't know if I like it as much, but I do like the eyes better on this one. And there is a little crack on the side, but it's fine. I'm not really going to use this to drink out of. So I'm not worried about the crack as much. It's more of just a display piece. And then I did some little designs on these smaller pieces. Like this one is supposed to be, it's a pretty small flower vase kind of. I don't even know if it's a vase. It's just a container, like a cylinder. I just etched in like flowers, a cloud, another flower, and then another cloud. I kind of like how it turned out. I like that it's darker on the outline of it on the sides. And then this is with new Celadon with eggshell white on top. You can tell I like this a lot because I used it for like almost like a quarter of my pieces. And the crackling on this is very visible too. I really like the crackling. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know for sure if it's food safe, but it's something that I would want to keep doing for all of my other pieces. So hopefully it is food safe. And then I did another etching on this one. It's a ghost, a cloud, a person sitting, and then another flower. I will put up the inspo photo that I got that inspired the drawings. So it's not really my original idea, but yeah. And this is also new Celadon with eggshell on top. And then this one is with, if you can tell, it's Miffy. I should have done without the eyes because now that I keep looking at it, don't like the eyes as much. It kind of looks a little creepy. And then I did a bunch of kind of like stars stars on the sides. Stars or flowers, whatever. And then this is just with clear blue with eggshell on top. I don't really like this combination as much. I don't know what happened to this one. It became more matte on the outside. Like I used the same combination for my big coil pot, and it's more glossy than matte like this one. I don't know what happened with that one. And then I did two flower vases. This one is with clear blue with eggshell on top. I like the shape of this one. I needed help making the bottom part of it because I struggled with pulling this shape out, but I like it. It turned out a lot smaller than when it threw it because it does shrink. And then this is the porcelain piece that I was talking about. This is with new celadon with eggshell on top, and I really like this one. The inside is really nice, and the only thing was I added too much glaze with the second layer that it ran onto the bottom, and I had to grind it out. So I accidentally grinded some pieces on the side out on accident. So it didn't turn out that great. I'm going to redo this and make it a lot taller because this one is pretty small. This is only with 2 pounds of porcelain. So next time I'll use a lot more. And the walls could have been thinner to make it taller, but it's all right. It's my first time throwing with porcelain too. And the inside is what I love the most. And just like the texture in general. And then the final piece, I didn't do this one, but I'm just going to show it because I like it so much. And I'm going to probably try to experiment with this and play around and learn how to do this next semester. I was gifted this from a teacher, and it's a matching cup and saucer. And this is how thin I should have made my walls on my cylinders. My cylinders were a little thick. But yeah, this is how thin I should have made it. And then I should have blended the handle on my pitcher this smoothly. Yep, those are all my pieces. I hope you enjoyed. It's an amazing feeling to see my work from the very beginning to the end where I can finally get my hands onto it and use it as like drinking vessels or to eat out of. If you're thinking about trying ceramics, I think just take a class at a studio or maybe a college and try it out. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.